89.
It is valuable to understand what gets you into debt, silver, but it is invaluable to increase your wisdom by learning how to get out of debt for good, gold.
Continue.
As you start preparing a budget, you will come to the realization that becoming rich is a lot more about your character than what you possess.
Continue.
Unless you learn to value wisdom more than riches, a budget will not produce the results you desire, and you will lose what only wisdom can teach you to maintain.
Continue.
Pray that the Lord will put a desire in you to gain wisdom more than any possession you desire, because if things are your focus, you will not see the benefits of applying hard work to gain lasting results.
Continue.
As you wisely prepare your budget, you will go through the process of assigning a value to each item, and that will add to your understanding.
Somebody say, I have to assign value to each item. In your life, you got to make a list of what you have and why is it valuable, and then how much value do you continue to give it, and time with it to make sure that it continues to have resource and potential futuristically. That means if the TV that's in your house, how much value do you give the time that's on that TV? Why is that TV there? Why are you paying $100 for cable and you're not watching it? Why are you giving $1,200 away and you're not being able to resource it? Is it for your children? Is it for company? How do you value it? How do you maximize it? How do you get it to the effort that shows itself to the capacity it needs to show itself? Now, if you're not going to use the gym membership, don't get the gym membership next year. Buy one of those things off of the infomercial, put it in your house, use it. Y'all follow me? Use it and let it work for you when you want to work it. But by the time you put out 9 gym memberships for a whole year, you could have owned something good in your house that gave you the flexibility to do it if you felt like doing it. I don't need to talk about that no more, do I? Because, you know, some of us get depressed. We get depressed whenever that happens. We start talking about all the money we wasted on areas and that's how, and we'll keep on doing that. Let's just jump to 91.
Always make sure that you are wealthier in wisdom than in things, because wisdom reproduces itself. Understanding brings increase. Soon you will be working your budget consistently and making adjustments where needed. This is when you will begin to desire more wisdom.
Somebody say more wisdom. More wisdom. Come on, say more wisdom. More wisdom. I'm going to let you take chapter number 9 and start dealing with financial aspects. We're going to be able to go through that for budgeting. We're going to move on to 106. Let's go to empowering your income. 106, please.
Now that you have created a budget and have learned how to empower it, let's move to the next step, which is empowering your income. After you minimize your expenses, you must shift your focus to maximizing your revenues.
Continue on 107.
By remaining faithful to the debt-destroying process, you will soon begin to look at your budget and project where you really are. You will find a happy medium and adjust easily because you have gained understanding of what falls into your low, medium, and high budget ranges.
How many ranges should you have in each budget? 3. What's the first one? Low, medium, high. One more time. Low, medium, high. One more time. Low, medium, high. Where should you live from? Low. You should live from the low. You should celebrate the medium and go ecstatic with the high. And the reason why is because you have to have some boundaries to measure really where you're sitting. And low should be, this is what I need, the basics to not just survive, but come out with right peace of mind, the rest of that. If I do well, I'm moving to medium. If I'm extraordinarily consistent and have the same sensitivity around me, I go up to the high. And if I look at it, I can track through the systems of my life to find out exactly what I'm producing. Everybody got that? You have to have that, because if you have a high budget and you're not meeting it, it's because you didn't strategically put a low budget. You can change your lifestyle when you want to. Amen. You can shift some dynamics around when you want to. You can make things become resourceful when you want to. But if you don't know how to look there and manage that again, there will be some disciplines that will happen. And listen, friends, ladies and gentlemen, let me be very straight and forward with you. Until you can announce to yourself where you are, you can never announce to yourself where you're going to be. And you can look at it and say, this is where I'm at. And you can set the goals. You can tell your responsibilities. You can look at it and you can tell your numbers. If your numbers don't increase in certain areas, you're not going to be able to handle and do this. And the wisdom of the matter is, I'd rather God speak to my heart and tell me, where should I go network? Okay, go over to this location, set up this operation here, partner with these 3 companies in this mall, lay your stuff in the windows, build a relationship with them, show them how kind you can be, spend an hour or 2 there a week, make it manageable, meet people and greet, show your best face, be prepared to introduce yourself in various levels of what you can do, and then see how it returns. But if you don't open up new doors for yourself, if you don't have the real potential, if you don't have the dossier prepared, if you're not really online, if the image and the branding, I can't even talk about branding. Somebody say branding. Because you know people already perceive you before they've perceived you. So then you have to introduce your branding, and the website becomes the initial place where people begin to introduce themselves to you before they introduce themselves to you. Look at somebody and say, they Google you. So my question is, what is Google saying about you? If it says nothing, guess what you're going to get? If it says poor things, guess what you're going to get? Poor. If it says great things, guess what you're going to get? So if you're not on Google, your name ain't known, you didn't get yourself on Google. If Google is the gold standard of being able to know somebody that's worth knowing, then you're not on Google. Then you're not worth knowing. Come on, talk to me. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying that Google's saying you're not. Some of y'all looked at me like, boo. Y'all about to cuss up in here. Felt a couple of y'all get to that range and all that, and because your attitude just came up. I'm so worth knowing. Okay, then let the world know you're so worth knowing. See, that whole attitude has to be, what do you do to get yourself out there? What do you do to get yourself announced? Because if, in fact, again, the gold standard is this, and you're not at the gold standard, how do people respect you? In one set of negotiations, a person came up to me and really was interesting. Knew nothing about church, knew nothing about the kind of things, and his comments were quite interesting. And I said quite interesting because of his parameters of discussion with me. So from his dialogue, I knew how I had to position myself within negotiations, because it was quite obvious that he had a stereotype of people that had religious foundational roots. And so I would have to definitely, concretely turn the corner within my negotiations. So in my initial conversation, I recognized that there was an ingrown bias, not because of me, but because of the things that he had already experienced. Hence,